What's up, everybody? And today we're checking out Northrop YF-23, the Grey Ghost. This is apparently the competitor to the F-22 when the F-22 was getting developed, which I think this is a really interesting time to watch a video like this, because obviously we've just got the announcement of the F-47, right? And when that comes out, when it's released and all that good stuff, we're going to find out about the competitor aircraft that have been tested. We're going to find out about these other aircraft that failed. And I think that's incredibly interesting. I think that's super interesting. This is by Mega Projects. I will leave a link down below to the original video. If you haven't checked out Mega Projects right now, they've got 1.4 million subscribers. They're absolutely phenomenal. Please go over there. There is a link down below to the original channel. Give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. They really deserve it. Before we get started, couple little things. If you haven't noticed, £16,464 have been raised on the Kickstarter for morale. This is incredibly exciting. We are in the last week. It ends on Saturday, the Kickstarter. So if you still want to be part of the movement, you can go ahead and click the link down below and join this incredible movement that's obviously aligning with 115 people who have backed the Kickstarter so far to raise this amount of money. We're 109% complete with the Kickstarter, which means we're way above the 15,000 that we wanted to reach. Quick little spiel about what this is. If you take the concept of these other big energy drinks like Monster and Red Bull and all that lot, where they take the profits of their drinks and sponsor extreme sports, we want to do the same thing with morale, but sponsor nature-based activities, whether that's getting veterans outside in nature because it's really good for your mental health, or whether that's getting the next generation of kids into forest schools and learning about bushcraft and mushroom foraging. These are all things we really want to advocate and sponsor with morale. So not only is it a really nice, energizing, functional mushroom drink, it also will be doing the good deed of getting people outside. All right. Also, if you want something absolutely legendary to drink your drink in, check yourself out. Chug, link down below. 10% off for the best drinking vessel in the world. Look at that. Look at that. If you want to look like an absolute legend when your friends come around and you're drinking your beer, this is what you got to get. Insulated, studs on the bottom to keep it protected and keep your table protected. Nice waterproof handle, customized initials you can get in there. I got the morale logo. You also get a customized bag and 10% off. Link down below. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's pull this up. Oh, my head's up here. What's my head doing up there? I must have been from when we were live streaming. Put my head back down here. You ready for this? Let's turn subbies on. Let's learn about the YF-23, the Grey Ghost.
At the height of the Cold War, the Americans and the Soviets were in a constant race to develop the newest, fastest jets. This airborne arms race gained even more focus from the United States when satellites over the Soviet Union spotted two new aircraft, the Su-27 and the MiG-29. These were prototype jets that had been specifically designed to counter top US fighter jets at the time, such as the F-15, meaning that the US was faced with the realization that they might not have undisputed air superiority anymore.
We're literally going through the same thing again with China, aren't we? Like, China have got this new 6th-gen prototype that they're flying about. They're trying to show off. And now the US is like, well, we've got 6th-gen coming out with F-47. We're literally repeating history here, aren't we? The wheel of time is turning again. And it does make me really interested to see if Northrop or Lockheed Martin had an aircraft that wasn't chosen and the F-47 was chosen with Boeing. It does make me wonder.
Immediately, the Air Force drew up plans for a next-generation aircraft, the YF-23 Grey Ghost, which would be unmatched in speed and stealth.
Nice. I didn't know they had this tune at the start. Let's go, Mega Projects. The design on this video is sick.
In the year 1981, the United States Air Force sent a list
1981, 10 years before I was born, and they were working on this stuff. That's insane. 10 years before. I was born in 1991, and I'm 33 now, 34 this year. And they were working on this 10 years before I was born.
Requirements to 7 aircraft manufacturers who were interested in the contract. The
7?
aircraft was to be an advanced...
Wait, 7? Who were the 7? Boeing, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. Who? I literally can't think of any of the others. Let me have a. Woo! Let me have a look. Let me have a cheeky peek. What are all the military companies in the US that make aircraft? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Lockheed Martin. Focus. Oh no, I'm reading that wrong. Okay, Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Defense, Space and Security is their full title. Northrop Grumman, that's the so that's the three, right? They're the ones with the UFOs. General Atomics, that's another one. They made the MQ-9 Reaper. Interesting. Oh, they do drones. Okay, well, this might be before their time then. Textron Aviation, they did the V-22 Osprey with Boeing. Sikorsky, a Lockheed Martin company, so that doesn't really count. Raytheon Technologies, that's one that could be that could be in there. But at 7, they said 7. That's all that's come up for me. I'd love if you know them in the comment section. Let me know because I'd love to know that.
Tactical fighter, or ATF. Companies were expected to make use of recent innovations in fields like stealth technology and autopilot systems. In 1986, the Air Force received blueprints from 5 companies: Northrop, McDonnell Douglas, General Dynamics, Lockheed, and Boeing.
Okay, so McDonnell Douglas and General Dynamics are the ones I weren't thinking of. But he said 7. So there's 2 more on top of that.
The companies were all aware that this could be one of the most profitable contracts of all time. The Air Force wanted 750 of the finished jets, and the Navy had even expressed interest in purchasing over 500 of them. With this in mind, 3 of the companies, Lockheed, General Dynamics, and Boeing, came to an agreement that they would all work together on the project if any of their designs were chosen. In response to this newly formed team, McDonnell Douglas and Northrop also joined forces, are ready to share the profits. Out of the 5 aircraft proposals, the Air Force announced that Lockheed and Northrop had the best designs and gave each company 4 years to produce a prototype, which would later be known as the Lockheed YF-22 and the Northrop YF-23. The first YF-23 was completed in 1990 and immediately flew.
So I'm presuming the Y just means that it's still being tested, right? Obviously, you have this kind of like naming convention. I'm sure the Y means that, and then they just drop the Y when it goes into service. Someone will let me know on that. I thought it was... No, yeah, that's correct, yeah. I thought it was something else. Maybe I'm thinking of, like, something else. I thought there was, like, an X in there. Maybe I'm wrong.
Its first test flight, which lasted an hour. It was painted charcoal grey, and in honor of Northrop's P-61 Black Widow, a World War II plane that was the first to ever be equipped with radar, the first YF-23 was nicknamed the Black Widow 2, and it even had the distinctive red hourglass on its underbelly shared by the venomous spider. However, Northrop executives removed this when they found out about it. Can't let the engineers have any fun. The second prototype was built the following year and was painted in 2 shades of grey, earning it the name the Grey Ghost.
It's a nice aircraft.
Feature of the YF-23.
It's obviously got the unique wing design, doesn't it? That's very interesting. What an interesting looking aircraft.
Was its wings, which had an unconventional diamond shape. The tail was shaped like a wide V. Between the tail fins were the 2 jet engines, which had been designed with S-ducts. Aircraft with S-ducts feature the intake for the engines at the rear of the plane, a little higher up than the engines, since the exhaust is behind and a little bit lower down than the engines, giving the system the overall shape of the letter S. These engines have the benefit of shielding the front and sides of the engines from radar, and they are also easier to service. Along with this unique engine design, the exhaust was also vented through specially made heat absorption layers that would dissipate the heat from the engines and make it difficult for heat-seeking missiles to lock onto the aircraft from below. The YF-23 was 67 feet long, about 20 meters, and had a wingspan of 43 feet or 13 meters.
I wonder where you can see these. I wonder what museum these are located in. My son loves this stuff. My 6-year-old boy, he loves this stuff. And I'd love to take... I don't even know where I could go in the UK. I know there's one close by somewhere because I went when I was a kid. But I'd love to go visit one in the UK, an aircraft museum. But I'd love to go to America and see some of these classic ones because I do so many videos on them. Be nice to do a vlog with me and my boy, just going, checking out one of these museums in America, heading back over there, because we can see family at the same time, can't we? And just go over there and do a vlog and check out some of these absolutely iconic aircraft. Let me know what the best aircraft museum is in the US. Let me know in the comments.
The interior of the plane only had space for the pilot, as the aircraft was intended to have minimal weight and maximum speed and range. Its estimated range was 2,800 miles or 4,000 kilometers. The first prototype, the Black Widow 2, was powered by two YF-119 engines designed by Pratt & Whitney. But for the second prototype, the Grey Ghost, they opted to mix things up and instead used two turbofans from General Electric. The Grey Ghost turned out to be the faster of the two, and though the official maximum speed is still classified, sources have reported that it reached Mach 2.2, nearly 1,500 miles per hour, or 2,300 kilometers per hour, also known as bloody quick.
Yeah.
Test pilots praised the YF-23 for its speed, mobility, and excellent angle of attack. Even when not blasting its afterburners to reach its maximum speed, it could comfortably cruise at Mach 1.6, putting it in the...
That's insane saying that out loud, isn't it? And this was made before I was even born. Like, think about that. I'm 33. And this was developed before I was born, and it's cruising at 1.6 Mach. That's insane, isn't it? Obviously, it was outdone by the F-22, which... that's not a failing. Like, the F-22 is in a league of its own, in my opinion. That is like... it's just a different breed, isn't it, the F-22? In any other time, I think this would have probably got the contract. But it was just up against something that so happened to be an absolute animal. It cost a lot of money, unfortunately, because it could have dominated the world. But, yeah, interesting.
Range of the newest Soviet jets mentioned earlier. It was made compatible for an M61 Vulcan machine gun in its nose, and because its focus was to be air-to-air combat, its wings had space for up to 6 anti-aircraft missiles. But
that's a lot.
As impressive as these details are, it wasn't quite enough to beat out the competition.
Yeah. I mean, it's going up against the F-22.
The YF-23 wasn't the only one competing for the spot of advanced tactical fighter. As mentioned earlier, Boeing, General Dynamics, and Lockheed had all teamed up with their own version, the YF-22. The two began their competing test flights in late 1990, each racking up about 60 hours of total flight time. The Grey Ghost was also equipped with its missiles and main cannon, but it never fired a shot. By the end of the evaluation, the Air Force selected the YF-22 as the winner. The Grey Ghost had performed just as predicted by Northrop and was considered stealthier than the competition and had a high maximum speed, but Lockheed's YF-22 was superior in several ways. Mainly, it was more agile, which the Air Force saw as crucial for air-to-air combat. It was also speculated that it was chosen because it had higher potential for landing on aircraft carriers, but the
F-22 landing on an aircraft carrier? I mean, the F-22 is pretty big, isn't it? Like, as far as I'm aware, it's bigger than a F-32. So really? Landing on an aircraft? That's what they wanted to do with it? Seems so out of place.
Navy actually withdrew their plan to purchase advanced fighters a year later. The YF-22 went into full production and eventually became the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, one of the most advanced aircraft in the Air Force, and currently the US has built 195 F-22s. The Northrop YF-23, on the other hand, now has no purpose. They were stripped of their engines and sent across the country to NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center, but NASA never got around to testing them like they wanted. Today,
that's such a shame.
YF-23s are on display for the public. One is in the National Museum of the United States Air Force in Ohio, and the other...
oh, the United States Air Force, the National United States Air Force Museum in Ohio. The National Museum of the United States Air Force in Ohio. I'll get Ohio. I'll get it eventually, guys. I'll get it eventually.
It's in the Western Museum of Flight in California. While it's highly unlikely that the original YF-23 program will be revived, there is a chance it could become the model for a newer aircraft. For example, in 2004, the United States Air Force was looking into a new interim bomber or tactical range bomber that could reach targets surrounded by heavy defense or difficult geography. Northrop joined the competition and designed a stealth bomber based on the YF-23, but the project never went anywhere as the Air Force cancelled their request, turning their attention instead to the next generation.
Yeah,
program.
and rightly
More
so,
recently, Japan
really.
has been looking into developing its next generation of fighter jets, and after being denied F-22s, they reached out to several companies for possibly designing their next aircraft. Northrop is one of the companies that
Wow, I
expressed
didn't know
interest in
that.
the offer. So while their original YF-23 never made it to full production, we could see its revival in the form of a new Japanese stealth fighter.
That would be
So I
interesting,
really
wouldn't
hope you found
it?
that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below. Don't forget to subscribe. This one, I believe, was made on a request from a viewer, and if you would like to see something you suggest on the Mega Projects channel, please do leave a comment below with your ideas. I tend to make the ones that rise to the top. So go do that, and thank you for watching.
Absolutely fantastic video by Mega Projects. Simon Whistler, I think his name is. It says at the end here, the host. He's all over YouTube, innit? But what a great video. I do want to know more about the YF-23. I feel like there are probably a lot more detailed videos out there, because this was only short. It was like 7 minutes long. I bet there's a video out there that's like half-hour long going over everything. And part of me wants to watch that. The other part of me just wants to take this and compare it to what's going on right now. I'd love to, oh God, we're going to know in like 5-10 years time, aren't we? What aircraft didn't make it? Which ones didn't make the cut that inevitably made the F-47 make the cut? It's going to be an interesting timeline to see, because I bet the ones that didn't make the cut now are so advanced it blows our mind. Never mind the F-47. It's what a weird time we're in right now. Anyway, we're going to end it there. I will leave a link down below to the original video. Fantastic video by Mega Projects. Don't forget to check out the Kickstarter if you want to be part of the movement. It is the last week if you want to be a part of that. And also check out Chug, 10% off. Link down below. Other than that, I love you all. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.